مسلما الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وآله وسلم. Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers, sisters. This message is coming to you from lockdown in West London. I wanted to make a quick message to everyone to encourage you in Ramadan. I know a lot of you are giving your sadaqah and zakat in Ramadan. So we wanted to remind you not to forget some of our grassroots efforts that we're making in Hounslow and West London. Please consider us for part of your donations, inshallah. There's a lot of, considering it's one of our main pillars in Islam, zakat, but there's a lot of misconceptions about zakat that people don't realize actually what it is, the essence of. Many people think that zakat should be given just to poor people, and this is a very important part of zakat, but the Quran actually very explicitly gives us guidance on the distribution of zakat. Zakat is actually a purification tax which is paid to our Islamic government and is distributed by them through the public treasury or the Baytul Mal. Obviously we don't have Islamic government to pay our zakat to now, but the Quran gives us the 7 categories in Surah At-Tawbah, verse number 60, which states, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والعاملين عليها والمؤلفة قلوبهم وفي الرقاب والغارمين وفي سبيل الله وابن السبيل فريدة من الله والله عليم حكيم. The sadaqat or the zakat is for the fuqara and masakin, the poor people, people in need and people who are completely destitute. وَالْعَامِلِينَ عَلَيْهَا. It can also be used to pay the salaries of the people who administer the zakat. الْمُؤَلَّفَةُ قُلُوبِهِمْ. These are the people that zakat can be used to encourage new converts to the deen and to release slaves and those who are in debt, to help people who are in debt, Muslims who are in debt. They don't have to be poor people, but people who are in debt. Zakat should be used to help them. This is very relevant in the time we're in now, when people are facing lots of uncertainties about their jobs and about their futures. And if we were administering our zakat correctly as a community, we should be using our zakat payments to help those Muslims in our communities that are going through these difficulties with their payment of their mortgages and debts, when they're having these losing their jobs. وَفِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And the zakat money should be used fi sabilillah, to support the cause of Islam, to support the cause of the deen, and wabn sabil, and to help people who are in need, because they're travelers. They may not be poor people, but they're traveling to different places and they may have a short-term need, and the zakat can also be used for that. So that's the 7 categories that the Quran explicitly mentions. Now, I'm asking you to donate some of your money to help the Islamic educational work that we're doing in Hounslow and West London area, in particularly the Lady Nafisa School, which is a secondary school for Muslim girls, which we've set up for the last 10 years, alhamdulillah, is very successful, has got excellent Ofsted report that you can read online. We must be one of the few schools that are catering for secondary education in the West London area for Muslim girls. So this is the work that we're doing that is for the long-term future of our community. As Muslims, we're very good at the short-term needs of the Muslim community. We have got many excellent organizations out there which are catering for what you could call first aid work, when there are disasters, when there are Muslims that are facing sudden catastrophes. We've got excellent organizations out there like Islamic Relief and Muslim Hands that all of you, I'm sure, contribute towards, that are out there helping out. This is first aid work, but as a community, we also need to look at the longer term, the treating of the root causes. And this is what the zakat does. It's to be paid to poor people, which is the first aid work, but it's also fi sabilillah, to support the deen of Allah, to establish the teachings of Islam. If we don't establish the teachings of Islam in our community, we have got no long-term future. Islam will disappear. We'll be left as Muslims only in these Western lands. We'll be Westerners with Muslim names. So the work of Islamic education is treating the root causes and setting down the long-term future of our communities. When you look at our history, the Muslim history, when we look at our great civilization that Islam created, all of our great Muslim societies, they were well aware of the need and the importance of Islamic education. If the Khalifa Harun Rashid had not given from his wealth to open the Baytul Hikmah, the great libraries that he opened in Baghdad, there would have been no Islamic golden age of learning and culture. So Islam, the establishment of Islam and the deen has always gone hand in hand with the Muslims sacrificing their wealth to support Islamic education. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes in the Quran that a good word is like a good tree. A good word is like a good tree. When we establish Islamic education and knowledge, we are planting the seeds of these trees. And trees are amazing things because trees take many, many years to grow. And sometimes the trees we plant today, they flower in next generations and for hundreds of years. Do you think the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was just doing first aid work all the time? Or was he looking at the future? Was he planting the seeds of trees that would grow and flower for hundreds of years? So this is what we're asking you to do, those of you that are part of that No Lady Nafisa school and the work that we've been doing in the local community in education with the history course, the civilizations course, etc. Please remember to put part of your donations towards us as well. So brothers and sisters, please do give us your sadaqah and your zakat payments. The link for the bank account is there. It's Hamim Research and Education Fund. You can put your money in there. If it is zakat, please put a little reference or a label that is zakat, and inshallah we'll make sure that it's distributed according to Islamic law. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hope you all keeping safe in this lockdown and in this time of this virus that's going around. May Allah protect all of us and all of you. Jazakumullah khairan, alhamdulillah.
وكل شيء همنا يغل باسمك يا عظيم صافت النظرة طابت الحضرة جاءت البشرى لأهل الله قاموا سكارى لنا البشارى جعلوا عمارا شكرا لله قول يا عظيم أنت العظيم